MFL Total Access in the house. Let's go. Let's get it. An hour, maybe longer. We had
I
some
feel
sun
like
this weekend.
it was literally the nicest weekend of MFL Spring 2025.
Praise God, bro. Praise God. It was about time. It was
It feels
about
like we've already
time.
been talking for about an hour.
Bro, like my mouth is drier than bone.
A few messages. Do you want to start?
Um, Happy Father's Day.
Yeah, happy Father's
It's your
Day.
first time being Father. Yeah, happy Father's Day.
Yeah, thank you.
To all the good guys out there, but never forget, if it's not for the children, ain't no fathers. So it's basically like a two-way street.
Yeah. What'd you get your dad for Father's Day?
A second cup gift card.
You loaded up with a full $5?
Bro, hey, bro, come on, it was more than that. It was like about $10. No, it was more than that. It was more than that. But he was happy. My boy loves his coffee, and yeah, he was good. But it's not that counts, right? So
Yeah, of course, of course, of course. You write him a little cute card?
no, no, I stopped that about like last year. I used to draw them up with the balloons and "Daddy, you're the best" and stuff like that.
Okay, okay.
Yeah,
We got a few announcements. Our first announcements, which I think you're not even aware of, we're partnering up with an organization to do a pretty big fundraiser during the fall season. Details will be announced. I don't know. I wouldn't say shortly because we really just started the organization of this, but it's a pretty big not for profit organization. We're gonna do like a big Le Bear Day. There'll be a bunch of activities, extracurriculars, um, a bunch of games, and all the profits are gonna go to the organization. So
that's awesome.
yeah,
So like, okay,
Hope-
so like after this season,
yeah, it should be September 6th,
okay, and the next season, like the fall season, starts like the week August 10th.
August 16th.
Okay, so we have a break.
We have 1 week off. There's
Okay,
one
bless up.
week of no MFL. Why bless up? MFL for life.
No, no, because that means we end later, so it'll be it's save the best for last. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, yeah,
That's awesome though. I had no
yeah.
idea.
Of course you didn't.
Yeah.
Um, Besides that, we also a lot of people asked us, and when you ask nicely, we like to accommodate. We'll have our, I believe, first ever MFL parent versus kid game, or parents and kids against other parents and kids.
Bro, that's
Uh,
crazy.
just post that. It's going to be July 5th. If you're interested, let us know. We hope to have enough interest to actually run the game. It'll be at Le Bear. It's an all everyone at Le Bear day. So to cap off that beautiful day, we'll have a little fun, chirpy parents against kids. Do you think it'll be more fun to do like just split the two teams or to have parents versus kids?
No, straight up parents against kids.
Yeah.
Straight up.
Who's
It'll
the
be fun to
favorite?
play. It'll be fun to play against Steve.
Who'll be the favorite?
Oh, the kids for sure.
What's the over under?
I'd say kids favored by 13. We're we're gonna do like a full-time game, right?
Maybe like an hour game, like cause
Yeah,
starting maybe 7:15. I don't know. We'll see them how motivated people are, but at least an hour.
I'd say kids favored by 12 and a half.
That much?
They
What
got
about the
speed, bro.
what about the experience?
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know. I think like it's some of them are too busy watching from the sidelines, and maybe closer than that. But no, I got speed over chemistry.
All right. What else do we got? I know it's in French, but do you listen to Matt and Gold's podcast?
What's that? Yeah, no. So somebody, yeah, I've been doing it again left and right. It's good. It's awesome. Like they seem their studio seems sick.
Their studio.
Yeah, like I mean, just the way they're kind of set up. Like it's I don't know. It's something cool about it. Like it seems nicer than ours.
It's like a French version of ours when one of the hosts a little bit darker.
Yeah, exactly, exactly.
But no, no, no. I usually watch like most of it, but today I actually like there are a lot of important information in it. So I watched the whole
Yeah.
thing before recording this show. So I want to say like kudos to them. It's really, really solid. I know that there's no English subtitles for guys like you, but for most of the league is bilingual. I'd say we probably have a lot more francophone speaking players than anglophone speaking players. So tune in. It's live every Sundays at 8 p.m. It's a great listen. They're actually probably better than us
That's
at
not hard to
analyzing
beat.
at analyzing games and giving insight and stuff like that. Um, but yeah, they're doing a great job. Keep it up, guys. And just want to mention, do not contact me or John directly. You could contact Will directly for any questions you have related to the league, or you could contact the league itself. Um, yeah.
But yeah, when I tune into them, it's very bubbly, warm, positive. It's a good listen.
That's what it sounds like, the French language to you, Bubbles.
Yeah, but I don't like you said I don't understand a word, but this that is see here, see there. I assume it's good.
Oh, and lastly, shout out to Lorian. Back-to-back weeks with insane videos. We
Yes.
got to see some crazy highlights because there's a many games going on at the same time, and sometimes there's these crazy catches that people maybe miss. But thankfully, she was there at the right time, at the right place to catch those sick highlights. We're lucky to
Yeah, the
have her as well.
most satisfying thing is like when you make a one-handed catch and see she's filming. It's like you got a little some for the kids from YouTube to watch.
Yeah.
It's good to have those videos back. They're awesome.
Yeah, well, we kind of got delayed a little bit with all the rain. We don't want the first one to be like in a rainy day, and it ended up being in a rainy day. But at some point, you gotta do what you gotta do, right?
Yeah, bro. We're waiting for 2027 if we're waiting for the rain to stop.
I feel I had one more note. You
Yeah.
have anything else you wanted to add?
Let's see. There was La Bear. There was the games. Um, I think it was
Oh
good.
yeah, I remember. Yeah, so some people write to me so we could talk about them, which I would gladly do. Anytime you write to me and you tell me eyeballed out, talk about me, I'll talk about you without saying you told me to. I'll mention your name a bunch of times. Or if more importantly, if you have a teammate that balled out, that's a little more shy, that doesn't get the spotlight that they deserve, let us know. We'll definitely like talk about them as well, and we won't mention that you told us to. Um, but sometimes people let me know on Tuesday or Wednesday. We tend to record on Monday, so you gotta let me know before Monday, or let Will know before Monday, and that will be make sure we'll make sure to include on the podcast.
I mean, we've only ever recorded on Mondays, so we definitely tend to
Well,
record Monday.
this season we've been doing great.
Bro, that's crazy, eh?
In past seasons, we've been recording like I think Wednesday morning it happened.
Bro, for real. Sometimes it was like Wednesday at 3 in the morning or Tuesday at like 1. And it would have been
We've
pretty
been,
good.
we've been pretty good, yeah.
But yeah. Oh yeah, one thing I was is the do we always have 7 time slots or that varies?
It varies. We always
Okay.
have six,
Always
like
at
we've had
least
in
6.
past seasons, but
Yeah.
there's certain weeks where we have a seventh. I mean, you've been there for the first 6 weeks of the season. Did we always have seven time slots?
Right, I mean, you're asking the wrong person. But when we have the extra slot, it's always the night one, like the 6 p.m.
Yeah, it was that or
Yeah.
7:30 a.m. What do you prefer?
Bruh, where your boy's falling asleep at 7:30 a.m.
But we might have to add a 7:30 a.m. slot in the future as the league is growing, right? Because like that's why we have some 6 p.m. slots now. A lot of people are like, hey, we never had that. We're like, well, we never had 63 teams in Montreal either, right? So as the league grows and we have more and more teams, we're trying to get more and more fields. At the same time, we need to have uh, more solid officials to be able to officiate as many games at the same time. Because right now we ran up to 5 games at the same time. So that means we need 15 officials uh, across those games, right? And then a lot of guys play here, play there. So um, I don't think we're ready right now to have 6 games running at the same time. So until then, we're going to be adding games at the beginning of the day, at the end of the day. Um, we'll see what it looks like in the fall season. There were maybe discussions on, how like an MFL game runs an hour and 15 minutes on average. You could ask Jason Armanti about that.
Yeah, yeah.
Um, maybe cut down the time between games. Like we have an hour and a half. So like usually you end your game when you have like a good 10, 15 minutes to enjoy the sun or the rain, depending on the day.
Yeah.
But we could very well fit that same game with like an hour and 20 minutes between games. Obviously, it would be more tight for the refs that change field and that whatnot. So
Yeah.
we're thinking about it, doing it in the future. But it would help reduce the last time slot to an earlier time if we did that. Like if every game was like every an hour and 20 minutes at an hour and a half, those first
Mhm.
6 time slots you'd save an hour. So instead of the last game starting at 6 o'clock, it started 5 o'clock, and it'd still be the seventh time slot. I know you maybe did not follow, but we're working on making things more enjoyable.
Way over my head. But to know, I mean, that'd be really tight, man. We already got Kevin dying on the field after playing back to backs, bro. Imagine him, no water, bro. My boy's gonna collapse.
Yeah, make sure you keep him some Gatorade or some water in that cooler. But all kidding aside, let us know in the comments or write to Will to let him know if you guys would be down to have a 7:30 a.m. time slot. If the first time slot of the day instead of being
No,
at
no,
9
no, no.
o'clock,
I do not write to me. That is not an option. We'll play on Friday nights. We'll play on Tuesday mornings. We're not playing 7:30 Saturday.
we'll probably try to see if there's enough interest in the next Sked Builder forum before actually doing it. But it's something we did think about. So yeah,
Yeah, I guess it's possible.
let's get this show on the road. MFL
Good
Laval.
games this week. Yeah, okay, good call.
Sorry?
No, no, so we had some great games this week.
I think we had a total of like 43 games across the three leagues.
That's insane.
Okay, so we won't go through all the games here, but clearly the game of the week after Les Vilains beat the Cheetahs 58 to 12. Uh, Les Vilains and Bandinos were both sitting at 4-0, the last two undefeated teams of the season. Um, and they couldn't both be 5-0, right? Because there's no ties in the MFL. Uh, Les Vilains, Bandinos both sitting at 4-0, could be a finals preview. It was a very low scoring affair. Both these teams averaging a lot of points per game and not a lot of points against. And I was surprised to see the low scoringness of this game. 6-6 after the first half. Um, and look, like I think it was fair to assume that Les Vilains were still the favorite going into this game, right?
Yeah, defending
But
champs.
it took them all of 17 minutes in the first half to get on the board on a fourth down uh, play. So Bandinos could have very well been up 6-0 at halftime, and that could have made the difference later in the game, right? Even their second touchdown came on a fourth down play, and then the game winning touchdown was on the last play of the game. How exciting was this? Let me just double check.
That's
On the
crazy.
last play of the game. So this game had overtime written all over it when
Yeah.
Bandinos got the ball back with 3.5 minutes. I'm sure the plan there was to milk the whole clock. Um, Maybe that's why Rob took a sack here, right? To waste the play, perhaps.
Yeah. He playing
Um,
with fire.
but then he scored right after, hitting JP for 9 yards and the touchdown. But those 31 seconds, 27 to be exact,
Man.
when through 41 minutes and a half, Villains had only scored 12 points. Were able to score 6 points when it mattered most, and that's championship pedigree written all over it.
Hey, some ways when you put under pressure, man, some teams collapse, some teams don't. Some teams are built for that, and they got ice in their veins. That's clutch, man. 27 seconds, even with all three timeouts, to march down the field in 27 seconds, very impressive.
Yeah. Um, Hitting Lucas twice for 16 yards, maybe on the same play, and then hitting Sam for 6 and 5 yards, maybe on the same play because you see the same tackler for each of those pairs of receptions. And then Vincent Lemieux with a 4 yard touchdown to get the Gatorade spilled all over the team for that big victory and keeping the undefeated season alive. And that back to back run is looking more probable right now.
Yeah, it's impressive. I think you said it is kind of surprising to see low scoring. I guess it's good defense, and maybe the two teams. Uh, I guess if it played each other in the past, they know each other's tendencies. So sometimes, that's a big part of it too. We see in the MFL, you kind of know what quarterbacks like to run. But like you said, great game. Both teams going in at 4-0, and you'd rather a low scoring game, right, than a high scoring blowout. So I like it.
Yeah, but rather a high scoring tight game.
Yeah, yeah. I'm saying yeah. If you had to choose between the two,
Yeah, now Villains with a 122 point differential. It's hard to see who could dethrone them right now.
yeah, Bandinos, Bellows in business. Sooners have chemistry, and they Sooners pull off. I think Sooners had an impressive game this week, from what I saw.
Yeah, I think Diego was back, so that for sure helped. But the question of the day in MFL Laval is right now we have six teams sitting comfortably with at least a two wins uh, cushion there. And then we have four teams with one win and free agents number two, who I'm eagerly waiting to, confirmation of their team name, with a
Oh,
game in
that's
hand.
ridiculous. Free agents number two, spring 2025. Really, that's worse than the football team.
Yeah, call them the Laval flag football team.
Yeah,
So they have a game in hand and also it's still in the hunt. So who secures that last and final playoff spot?
we got seven. Well, that's crazy. The Flag James playing two games. The three behind them playing five. I'm gonna go. I'm gonna go Grizzlies. I'm gonna go with
Is
Grizzlies.
you want to say why?
Well, I've always liked their uniforms. No, I have always liked their uniforms. But no, it's a team that's been playing for a while, right? I believe they play in the winter time too, at Concordia, I believe. And I've always felt like it's a team that they have their superstars obviously, but it's not not a team that necessarily has as many holes. You talk about like weak links on the team. I don't think their weak links are necessarily as weak as other teams. So sitting at 1-4, a little bit surprised. Obviously, you want to be scoring more than 57 points 5 games in. But if one team is going to come in and take the 7th spot of the Flag James, I think it'll be Cheetahs. Sorry, Grizzlies. Grizzlies.
Yeah, I can ask me.
Oh yeah. Well, yeah. I was giving. Yeah. Who do you think is going to take the 7th spot?
Just looking at the standings and the stats, I'm going with Les Tornades. Honestly, they have almost they have over 100. The only one that has over 100 points, besides Cheetos, who have a respectable 92 points, but their defense is giving up a lot. They have double what the other offensive has have outputted to date. And given their 25 to 22 close loss to Bellows and Business, who are sitting at 3-1, I'm confident that they could win that one extra game that could pull them into the 7th spot.
And like you said, 103 points is pretty impressive, right? And in 5 games for a team that's out of the playoffs. Well, I wonder I wonder probably big games for the Flag James. They've only played 2, so I'm assuming they play a lot of these teams later on in the season. So those could be playoff potential games when and if they meet.
Yeah, everyone plays everyone once in the season, given there's 11 teams.
Hmm.
Uh, a new MFL Laval record with 11 teams. We previously had 10 in our inaugural season last fall. And Le Flag James are trying to catch up their games played as they have one against Sooners 45 and one against Bellows and Business. So two tough games for them this upcoming Sunday.
Got to make sure they eat their Wheaties in the morning.
Yeah.
That's cool. I like the 17s make it though. The 1 seed or the bye becomes huge, right? That number 1 seed.
Honestly, 11 teams per division is like the perfect format. Everyone
Yeah.
plays everyone once. There's 7 teams that make it. Number one's rewarded with a bye. You still got to win 2 games to win the championship, even if you're the 1 seed. Everyone else gets to play 3 playoff games. It's like the perfect formula. If we could artificially make every division with 11 teams, we would. But obviously, we prioritize parity and fair play and competitive divisions over anything else.
So if you had enough for 14 teams, you wouldn't just exclude the 3 last teams.
Yeah, no.
Yeah, I know that's fair. But I like it. It's cool how it worked out.
Division 5 and some big news in Division 5. So it's a never ever in the MFL. Could have been a bold prediction at the beginning of the season. Um, yeah, so we got DTS, who, and I don't want to say the league forced them because we had discussions with them, and they were very, very, very open to rectifying the situation. Obviously, it's a new team to the league, new teams with little to no experience, obviously start in Division 5. So it's nothing against them. We asked them certain questions based on their answers and the experience they had. Both us and them felt that Division 5 was the right way to go. But as any new team or team requiring rating adjustments that register in Division 4 and 5, we always give that little warning that the league reserves the right to correct things if we got it wrong. Because, it's kind of like the beginner divisions. You want everyone to have fun, be in the game, and there'd be a parity in the division, right?
Hmm.
Unfortunately, it maybe wasn't the case. Like, unfortunately slash fortunately for them, they're ballers. Like,
Yeah.
for for guys that have never played organized flag football or even tackle football, it's pretty phenomenal how good they are. Maybe they had a lot of success in other sports. Obviously, sometimes you don't know it translates well to football. Throwing the ball in a park and then having a rusher run to you 7 yards away and 5 defenders on your 5 receivers. It's a completely different game. I've seen so many people who like, yeah, I got a good ball. I throw well at the park, and they're awful. So clearly not the case for them. Clearly not the case for the quarterback Matthew. Um, they had a closer game this weekend. I know they were missing a ton of players. They had a few subs. I don't know if they were missing key guys or not, but kudos to Wong Dynasty, who showed us that they could compete. So just to clarify for Division 5, we'll talk about Division 4 later. Uh, DTS will be moving up for the playoffs. Their season is not lost, as their D4 seeding will depend on their final record. So that's pretty cool. At least we don't. At least the rest of the season doesn't mean nothing. And so 10 teams will make the playoffs, which will be the 10 teams that would have made the playoffs with DTS. So no one
Right,
that was
right.
supposed to make the playoffs is not making them because of this. We're not going to include
Mhm.
a non-playoff team just because of the fact that DTS moved up. If there were
Mhm.
18 teams to start the season, most probably 10 would have made the playoffs. There were 19 teams sorry, if there were 17 teams start the season, 10 would have made the playoffs. There were 18 to start the season, so um, 10 will be making the playoffs in Division 5. Those are pretty detailed emails that went out by the league.
Oof.
Um, yeah.
Yeah, I had a hard time reading that. It was boom. It was organized, but it was a lot. You guys did good stuff.
Yeah. I'm sure captains of the actual division would take more time to read it.
Fair enough. Good point.
Um,
But yeah,
which
like you
game do you
said,
want
it
to
was.
talk?
Sorry, I was that the Wong Dynasty put up. They were. I think they were up 13 zip from what I saw. They were up two possessions in this game, which is really. You would say Wong Dynasty covered the spread, right? I know.
Oh, yeah,
Uh,
yeah. The spread is probably, I don't know, 38 and a half.
Yeah, so they definitely did more than cover. Look, a loss is a loss, but still, I didn't really expect this game to be that competitive, like you said. DTS were missing some guys, but look, still had their quarterback there, and good to see Ryan playing one of his better games of the season, and I'm surprised they were able to take a 13-0 lead.
Yeah. Um, Besides that, Phoenix took a beating 31-16 against Slicks. I was expecting a much closer game there. Um, Titans are doing non-Titan things.
Great.
32 nothing win. Sitting at 5-2 right now. Good for them. Another head scratcher. Mimosa Crew winning 44 to nothing against Legendaries, and then losing 46 to 26 against Cessnas.
Holy cow. Talk about a tale of not two halves, but two games.
Yeah,
But yeah, that's look for Cessna's good to see them putting up points there. 46. That's in any division that's a lot, but a big win for them
yeah,
now sitting
yeah. Shout out to
uh,
Milan, young bucket quarterback there, scoring I think six total touchdowns.
yeah, now they're half a game out of a playoff spot. Comes a pretty big game.
Division 4.
Let's go.
So we spoke about it in the Division 5 segment, but to also
Mhm.
explain how the playoffs are going to happen now in Division 4, we felt it wouldn't have been fair to make a team lose out of a playoff spot, given how the season plays out. You're playing obviously you're playing every game to win, so it's not as if like it would have been unfair to say, okay, well now the eighth seed does not make it in. But given the perspective of the league and what we thought was most fair was to say, okay, we're going to include 9 teams in the playoffs, the 8 teams that would have otherwise made it in, and DTS who are moving up from Division 5. Given that we're including 9 teams, we felt it would be fair that have 4 teams placed higher than DTS, 4 teams placed lower than DTS. So have DTS slotted right in the middle at number 5 if
Mhm.
they go undefeated in Division 5, which we expect them to do. Depending on their actual record, they could move down up to the eighth seed. There'll be a play-in of number 8 versus number 9 before the playoffs begin, and then it'll be a classic 1 versus 8, 2, 7, 3, 6, 4, 5.
Nice. That sounds fun. So the best DTS can like the best seed is the 5 seed.
Yes,
Okay.
which we
Okay.
find was fair towards them and also fair towards the Division 4 teams.
Mhm.
But if you ask me for my personal opinion, uh, I'd say they're probably top 3 in this division.
In Div 4.
I would think that if had they played the whole season in Division 4, obviously there might be an adjustment in that first playoff game.
Yeah.
But if they're in the 5 seed playing the 4 seed, it should be fair game. But look, we have Mustard Tigers who are the heavyweight here. Les Bouchers who have shown a lot of promise. Your Division 4 finalists from last spring. They don't play in the fall. A Squad who are very strong. Beer Hood, the Bandits, Spartans, Underdogs. Literally every team that's in a playoff spot, and even the Alouettes who are trying to push their way into a playoff spot are all really, really good teams. But besides maybe Mustard Tigers and Les Bouchers, I don't know if any of these teams have the firepower on offense that DTS has. Obviously, they're playing against lower competition, Division 5, but still putting up consistently 40 to 50 points a game is scary. And we haven't seen any Division 4 team do that as of right now.
Yeah, like you said, I think like the lower division is especially hard, but that they're able to do it and put those amount of points, it is impressive. And this is a really fun division. You look at like you said, from 1 to 8, I feel like I wouldn't be shocked if any of these teams are able to make it to the finals or pull away the champion. I had said Spartans would win the championship, and they're sitting at the 6th seed, right? So I think it
Yeah.
shows how competitive this division is.
Where would you slot DTS?
I honestly, I think I would put them. I think I put them at 5. I think I would put the top
Okay.
four ahead of them, and I think I would put them at 5 just ahead of Bandits.
Yeah, that's fair. So,
Yeah,
if I said over under them winning half a game in the playoffs, what would you say?
over.
Really? Yeah, I think so too. Like
Yeah,
I think they're definitely winning one playoff game, and that would be really impressive. It'd be the first team in MFL history to ever win a playoff game in a division they did not play in during the
That's
regular
pretty
season.
freaking impressive.
So yeah, I see them making the semifinals, and then it's whoever shows up that game, right? Like we've seen Mustard Tiger be the best team in the division and lose a game they should not have lost. We've seen teams win finals against teams where they're severely underdog. So in the playoffs, it's any given MFL Saturday, right? It's
Right.
whoever shows up that game, whoever plays better that game. So really, it's anyone, and like I would not be surprised. Like I mean, I'd maybe be a little bit surprised considering the circumstance of not having played in the division, but I wouldn't be all that surprised if they win the Division 4 championship.
Yeah, well said. I think that you said the championship or bust for Mustard Tigers.
Yeah. Let's go to the women's division.
Alrighty.
Or actually, before we move on to the women's division, Division 4, there was a game, so I won't circle out anybody, but it could be a message for everyone. I guess it's not the same teams we spoke about last week into Division 4. It's a coincidence that this happened again in Division 4. But there were some unsportsmanlike penalties, a few too many unsportsmanlike penalties in a certain game, and some players got thrown out of the game. And it surprises me because, like, first of all, it's the MFL, and second of all, it's Division 4. So, like, you should take things a little more lightly and be a little nicer to the officials, right? Without officials, without the refs, there will be no games, right? Obviously, without the players as well, but we have a good crew of officials now. They write an exam, they go through trainings, and all of them, trust me, they're there because they want to be there. That's the most important thing. And ironically enough, the two officials that were on this game are pretty experienced officials and have been in the MFL for quite some time now, a lot longer than the player who got thrown out of the game. So I think they should maybe look at themselves in the mirror and wonder. Uh, Players drop balls, referees miss calls, right? It happens in the game. We're all humans. We don't have robots refing the games yet. But one thing's for sure, I know that every single ref refs the game the same way for both teams. So if there was a play that you felt the ref missed against your team, I'm pretty sure had the situation been reversed, they would have also missed the same call for the other team. It's nothing against you personally. It's nothing against your team. There's no betting in the MFL yet that the refs could even have a say on. So keep in mind that the refs ref the game the same way both ways, and insulting an official or getting heated towards an officials definitely not going to make them change the call, and you're only hurting your team more by doing that, right? A 10-yard unsportsmanlike penalty is pretty severe. Getting thrown out of the game if you're not that many players, it doesn't help as well. So just be nice.
Yeah, and I think like just as someone who like barely rests, but as a player, sometimes I'll ask myself like, how could he miss this call? How could Shiri miss this call as a referee? When you start refing yourself, you realize how tough it is. Right? There's only two
Yeah.
refs. You got a lot going on. You're looking at a lot of things. Even at, like a little tug of the jersey is something an official's supposed to see, but they're looking for rush interference, looking for roughing the passer. So there is really a lot to watch out for, and I think that as someone who's a player and refs very rarely, once you start refing, you realize how difficult of a job it is, and yeah, and you get to appreciate the referees a little bit more.
Yeah, definitely. All right, women's.
Let's go. Close
Only one
game.
game to cover.
Yeah, close game.
So Isabel didn't have her best game, going 12 of 30, 100 yards, three touchdowns, two interceptions. Um, but it was enough to win the game. And you know what Mama always says, right?
A pretty wait, an ugly win's better than a pretty loss.
Say it again.
An ugly win is better than a pretty loss.
Yeah. So you rather win while playing like shit than lose and having a stellar game, right?
Well said. Very well said.
So Crazy Bees took the early lead on a safety, going up 2-0 in this one.
I was just gonna say,
Uh,
my question is, how does the team score 10 points with no field goals? It's a CFL type stuff.
that's how. Um, and then Angie took a safety of her own. And then at the end of the half, Isabel found Kayla to go up 15-2. Crazy Bees got a pick six by Sharmika to cut the lead to one score. And then another safety in the game by Annabelle. Wow, it was a safety bowl in this one. To make it a 5-point game. So now Crazy Bees only need a touchdown, not even a convert. But Isabelle clutched up, found Roxane Roy for her second tutty of the game to make 21-10, and then Marjolaine Roson to add that 1 point to make it a 12-point game, and that's all she wrote.
Look, we talk about players, stuff like that, and sometimes like in the men's division, we bring up like we had a conversation actually with Mike Jazz the other day about who's the best and Chris Hope who's the best receiver in Div One, best player. You talk about like best players here. Roxanne, she just continues to make plays on offense, on defense, on quarterback. You're gonna make the case that as an overall flag football player that could play the three positions. Roxanne is, I think, for me, one of the first teams that comes up for one of the best players in this entire division.
Oh, definitely. Yeah. I mean, there's a lot of great female players in the league
Yeah.
that play in the co-ed divisions and in the women's divisions. We
Hmm.
hope to see a lot more women's teams in the fall. There are some that have already inquired, even though registration did not open yet. So we're hoping to grow that division. I'll let you know from now. There'll be some there'll be some substantial uh, rebates for the women's division for individual players and team registrations, as we were really going to be aggressive in wanting to grow that.
Say
Sailor, what
that
else?
fact 10 times.
Anyways, you understood. In case Loriane wasn't listening to our intro, shout out to her for her amazing videos that we had in back-to-back weeks. We spoke about it in the intro. Um, but yeah, Roxane Roy, also Kayla is another one that comes to mind.
Yeah.
Uh, Isabelle Poiré is making a name for herself at the quarterback position here. We spoke about a few quarterbacks who've never played the position earlier. I think in the Division 5 segment. She's one of them. Never really played quarterback, but great football mind. Obviously, this game doesn't showcase that as much, but like looking at her stats on the season, it's hard to believe, which obviously we do, that she never played quarterback, right? 19 touchdowns to only 3 interceptions, 600 yards through 4 games. Obviously, we'd like for that completion percentage to be a little bit higher, probably over 50%, but it gets the job done. Not all that's on her. There are probably some drop balls here and there. Um,
Look, at the end
um,
of the day, they have zero in the loss column, right? You'll take it.
yeah. So I know we ask ourselves this question um, very often. I have two questions. You answer one, you leave me the other one.
Deal.
Um, First question is it John McQueen's championship? I mean, will John McQueen's win the championship? Second question, does Supernova get a win?
I'll answer the latter,
Okay.
and I'll say Supernova finished 2-8.
So they get 2 wins in their last 4 games?
They split their last four.
That's really exciting. What if they play Drama Club 4 times?
Then they go two and
Drama
three.
Queens.
They're splitting Drama Club there. If they play Drama Club, that'd be tough. They're a pretty good D3 team.
Yeah.
No, I say they're splitting. They're gonna split.
Do they beat Drama Queens and Crazy Bees? Or just Crazy Bees twice?
No, they go 1-1. They beat Drama Queens once, and I think they lose their next two games and then finish off 2-0. Wait, so this is direct
So they
final
beat
or
Drama Queens?
hey baby, upsets happen. Ask Appalachian State, bro. But and is
Yes,
it
it's top
you
two
know
to make
it's,
the
okay?
finals.
It's a straight final, right? Okay, yeah. I be shocked if Supernova is still not the team outside looking in, but no, I'm saying Supernova get at least one win.
Look, you can ask Crazy Bees. The girls on Supernova can ask Crazy Bees when they play. In your first season as a free agent team, you're happy to get a victory in the women's division. It's tough, and especially now with only 3 teams, there's not that much diversity here. And to answer the other question, it's definitely John McQueen's championship to lose. Let's all agree on that. It's John McQueen's or the field. I'd be betting John McQueen's. Although this game was closer than most other games, and Isabel had an off day. But I do expect the games moving forward and that playoff game to be the closest one of the bunch. And like we said earlier, anything can happen come playoff time, right?
It's one game, right? It's literally one game. You could
Yeah.
have
Like legitimately, it's one game. Like there's not maybe 2 games, not even maybe a game.
no,
It's
no, no,
actually
no.
one game.
Like it's literally one game.
Yeah,
Like
like the
6 minute
definition of
halves.
literal.
And it's like, look, the day before your cat could be meowing all night. Maybe you only get an hour of sleep. You never know what happens.
Division 3?
Let's go.
Let's go. Division 3.
Alrighty.
Okay, let's start with our game. Felt like a playoff game this one, eh?
That was a dandy. That
Honestly,
was a
they're a
very
really,
good
really good
game.
team.
Yep.
It literally took the last play of the game on fourth down with 0 seconds on the clock and with them missing Joey for us to pull off the win.
I was a little worried. We were down 14 zip.
It did start very, very slow. I mean, they started with a ball, they scored within a minute, then it
Yeah.
went like three and out, and then they also scored right after. Um, and they were very good on converts. That also played a pretty big role in this game. Honestly, we got lucky. We had an extra full possession, right? They had a possession at the end of the half that ended at midfield. We had a possession at the end of the game that got to the goal line. So to me, that's the difference in the game. It's just the way the game plays out. We were maybe a little efficient with our clock management towards the end of the game, but you look at the possessions. We had one extra possession in this game, which we needed because our converts sucked in this game.
Yeah.
Um, yeah,
But
definitely a
that's
fun team
it's
to play against, and a great group of guys, and looking forward to playing them in the playoffs again.
I think you said it very well. It's like it was like a playoff type game. Both teams were pretty good on both sides of the ball. There's basically what was it like one stop each, right?
Exactly.
Yeah, one stop each, and like you said, it's really incredible. We talk about sometimes like the debate is, do you want to start with the ball and score, and put pressure on the other team to take a 6-0, 7-0, or 8-0 lead. But you're a guy who loves his math, and I get the percentages is pretty crazy, right? When you actually defer and start on defense and get the ball in the second half, like it just makes more sense, right? You can double dip and stuff. I've always kind of liked the idea of putting on points on the board and putting pressure, but I think if you just look at percentages, it's crazy how much better of a chance you have if you start on D.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, in the playoffs, the higher seed, who's probably the favorite, gets the choice, and they probably decide to start on D's. Maybe that's why the percentages are a little like falsified there.
Hmm.
Um, like I'm pretty sure if the higher seed would start on offense, they'd probably still have a good enough percentage of winning the game. I feel
Hmm.
when you're the underdog, you get to start an O, you score, you get the 2 point convert, you're up 8-0, you put a little pressure on the other team is great. Um, but when things go bad and when it rains, it pours in that first half, you always have that second half start to rely on yourself. And you know that as soon as you get a good drive out and then you get a good defensive standout, anything could happen. You could come back and win the game, right? So that's what I like about relying on getting the ball in the second half.
Yeah, it's kind of like the added buffer there, and that's basically what made the difference in this game. Fun game, nice plays made.
Yeah, Kareem was pretty solid at the rush position with 4 sacks. Honestly, we spoke about I think probably the theme of this podcast because we spoke about it in Division 5 and a little bit in 4 and in the women's. Quarterbacks have never played the quarterback position, but this one comes to Division 3. So it's crazy. Like I cannot believe James has never played. Like maybe he's played quarterback in another league and he never told us about when he was pretending to go to soccer on Saturdays. He was actually playing quarterback all that time because he made some nice little passes, nice deep balls. He really controlled the game well. Like 21 to 28. I think he has like an 80% completion percentage on the season, which is like ridiculous. Obviously, he's a super smart dude, crazy athlete. Um, but quarterback position is like the hardest position to play in almost in all sports, right? And looking at the stats he's put up this season, is phenomenal. Like I cannot describe it. It does not make sense to me.
No, I mean he was like you said early in the show, right? I've thrown the ball at the park. I'm pretty good. I can throw a tight spiral. That was it with him. Like we used to play at the park, and he's like, "Oh, I'm gonna try quarterbacking this year." I'm like, "Okay, that'll be cool." And we put him in Div 3, and I really did not expect this. Just the way he's moving the ball on the field, his reads, and like I told him, like when I first started, it was like just reading the field was very difficult. It's narrow, especially to start in a league like MFL, right? When the throws are very tight. There's not many windows. And he's built great chemistry with his guys, but no, he's been balling out, and he's getting better every single game. It's very impressive.
And this sets up for a huge game of the week this upcoming week. Him University against Drama Club, who Drama Club are the only undefeated team left in the division. Um,
What's the point spread in that one?
I'm
Okay, I got it. It was a tough one, but I got it.
going 2.5.
For who?
What's your point spread?
Mine was 2.5.
You're joking.
I swear.
Okay, we spend too much time together. This is not.
Yeah, bro, this is bad, bro. Bro, I was just telling Terry off here. It's like ridiculous how much we text each other. Like it does. Like Terry, I'm going to get a coffee. Oh, nice. I just wiped my butt, and it's like, hey, bro, that's ridiculous.
uh, I don't want to. Like, I feel bad saying it because I think Drama Club deserves more respect. And if you ask me power rankings, I'm gonna sound like Kevin now because I put Drama Club at number one. But I got 2.5. Him, you are favorites.
Okay, if I had John Club here by 2.5.
Okay. Okay, okay.
Yeah, that's good. Okay, we can still spend that much time together.
You you want to make a bet? Who wins?
Yeah, good
We
call. We haven't
we
done
haven't
our
made a
McDonald's in a
we
while.
haven't made a bet in a while.
Shoot, I'll be getting against my boys. Hey, well, I must still have my boys on Drama Club Valakid
It's
and some
week
of our
8 and we
dogs.
haven't bet this like till now. That's crazy.
That is true.
Okay,
Yeah,
let's make a bet.
okay,
Straight up,
down.
no spread, right? Straight
No,
up.
no, not doing spread. None of the draft nonsense. None of this happens. Whoever wins the game wins the game.
Okay.
Your usual
D
coffee, ice cream.
Doesn't matter who's there, who's not there.
No, it doesn't matter.
Like if Simo's not there, James not there, the bet's not off.
No, no, bet is still on, so it's
Okay.
perfect. 12.
Yeah,
Okay, perfect. So,
the usual.
yeah, I'll make sure I ref that game. Okay, sounds
We're
good.
playing at the same time.
Oh crap. Well, you guys will be okay. You got Kusei.
We were talking about how Iron Shoulder's season did not make sense, sitting at 1-4 coming into week 7. They
Yeah,
get a
they
back to
suck.
well, they got back-to-back wins, and now they're sitting in a playoff spot.
Well, that's the thing. They don't actually suck. That's the thing, right? We say that jokingly, but this is way too talented of a roster to be at 1-4. So glad they won. They won 2 straight games. And you look at we talked about like chemistry and like youth and what's better. Just like the veteran leadership on this team is through the roof. So this is a team. You talk about teams squeezing in the playoffs and no one wants to see them. This is exactly what the Iron Trollers are.
Maybe they're missing Chris's sportsmanship on the team to be higher up in the standings.
They'd be 7-0 at that point. So I agree.
It's 6-1 because Chris will throw an illegal pass in one of the
Oh
games.
yeah, forgot about that. Good call. Good call.
I don't know if Avery's eligible for the MVP because he joined the season like after week 6, but you look at Action Squad's first 3 games: 25-6 loss, 40-18 win against Hog Riders, 33-7 loss. So besides the Hog Riders game that put a 13 points, Avery joins in week 6. They put a 48 against Nomad and 54 against La Horde.
Okay, wait a minute.
102 total points.
When because Goldrick is QB1.
He's hurt.
Okay, when he's not done for the year, is he?
I don't know if he's done for the year, but he made the official announcement on the press in his live podcast that he will
Oh
be
wow.
giving the reins to Avery for the rest of the season in Division 3.
Wow. Okay, so I completely answered my question. Okay, wow, that's crazy.
What was the question?
I was gonna say if and when he comes back, can Avery stay as a receiver?
Let's see if it would have worked. I don't think they would have fit. Maybe they would have. Because 17 free points and then.
Avery had 90 offensive rating.
Yeah, no, it wouldn't work.
Yeah,
I
I was
don't
gonna say
think
like
I don't think Avery could catch a ball in the game. Obviously, Goldrick could still throw, but
yeah, yeah,
Avery
yeah.
wouldn't be allowed to catch a pass.
Wow. Okay, that's huge. I mean, Goldrick is the type of guy that I'm pretty sure. Well, I did see him this past weekend, so I was pretty sure he was cheering the guys on. Um,
I mean,
if you want
Goldrick
one,
is a great player, and we haven't seen him play not quarterback in a while, right?
yeah, that's true. No, but if there's one guy who would be injured and come to every game and cheer his team on, it'd be Goldrick. So it's
For sure.
respect.
Not Matt, who's told me he won't be coming to watch us play, even though he's injured.
I think he's gonna be. We're gonna see a surprise. He's gonna pop up one day, like our boy.
I figured.
Yeah.
But yeah, putting up over 100 points in the last 2 games, it's crazy how one player could change the dynamic. And we're speaking about dynamic duos off air, and that Avery to Justin White connection is something else.
That's it's 2D1 guys knowing the game. And it's a guy who's wide receiver and who's played quarterback and played quarterback well in Avery, trusting his guy to make a play. This makes his team a heck of a lot more dangerous. And Avery can play defense.
Yes, he's on the roster. Like they had enough cap
Yeah,
room
yeah.
to accommodate Avery. No rating adjustment requirement. Adjustment was required to do that. Yeah,
This action squad team is must see TV.
yeah. Just made another more dangerous team in the division.
Yep.
Division 2.
Let's go.
You said you caught the overtime, and what a way to finish this game.
Are you allowed to get player of the week in a loss?
I mean, it's MFL. You're allowed to do whatever you want.
Preach. I'm surprised. I heard some players never played in the game and they got player of the week, but this was actually a really good game. It was crazy. What happened? What was I there to watch? Oh yeah, because I had my Iron Wolves game right before I got to this game. A beautiful day at De La Vérendrye. I think it was tied. It was like 26-26 in the second half, something like that. Really good game, back and forth. And both quarterbacks playing really well. Like, look, Chris with the 6 touchdowns to 2 picks. Ludwig with the 5 touchdowns to 1. Long story short, this game ended up going to overtime. I think if you go by it was Ross had to score. Exactly, Ross had to score late-ish. Well, just under 3:30 left. Then their defense stood tall to prevent Phoenix from scoring because Gab Boucher got the pick, and then honestly, it was two. The picks of the game were two huge picks by Gab Boucher. It was actually a mistake. Avery didn't get the pick one at the end of the game. It was Gab Boucher. But Terry, what a way to end. It was 39-39. This game goes to OT. Phoenix starts with the ball. They say, okay, they're going to score. Like, if they don't score, then Phoenix gets another chance to see what happened. Chris throws a crossbody. Gab Boucher reads it like a book, takes it to the house. It was an incredible way to end an incredible game. And Rosas, man, don't look now, but they're clicking.
Did Chris chase him down and dive for the tackle?
No, he did not. But it was like Gab Boucher had straight line speed, so I'm not sure he would have been the tackle there. Yeah, because Gab's a tough guy for anyone to tackle in space.
Imagine winning in overtime without even have to have your offense on the field.
Some say defense wins championships. But
Um,
crazy how in such a high scoring game, it was two defensive plays that made the difference.
what was the other defensive play?
Well, Gabouche got the pick
Uh,
to kind of
uh,
force this game to OT.
okay. So where does this leave Phoenix now after starting 2-0, losing three straight, right?
Well, it leaves them currently outside the playoff spot, looking in.
Talk about huge game with playoff implications, eh?
Yeah, you couldn't ask for better, right? They get CIA, and then I think it's Ducks the very next week. Um,
Who gets CIA?
I think Phoenix plays Ducks, and then they play CIA the following week, I believe.
Okay, okay.
Yeah, two huge games, like all three of them on the outside looking in. Ducks. I'd say it's 2 must wins for Phoenix because Ducks. You don't want to. I mean, Ducks. Oh, you don't want to give Ducks the slimmer of hope, right? Sitting at 0-6 to go 1-6. I think, but Phoenix has to win the two next games. No ifs, ands, or buts. Not be close. Not be competitive. Phoenix needs to go 2-0 in the next two games.
Mark my words.
Yep.
Phoenix double dippers,
Yeah.
July 5th. Winners making the
Yeah.
playoffs, losers out.
Who thought Double Dippers would be in that spot, eh?
Eric did not think that.
No, definitely did not think that.
Well, I mean, they're nursing so many injuries left and right that,
Yeah.
or maybe they're just saving themselves for the playoffs instead of like burning out throughout the season like they usually do and finishing first. They're just saving those people for the playoffs and hoping they make the playoffs.
So you get the pressure off, right? They have that underdog story, sneak into the playoffs.
Mm. Our question of the week last week. Uh, Remember what it was?
When does Dobbs throw a pick?
He threw one.
He had a bad game, eh?
Over 250 yards, 7 touchdowns. Um, 31 to 1 TD to interception ratio. Ever seen that before?
I don't think I've ever seen that. 7 games. That's incredible. Like if you look at quarterback of the year races, like I don't know his favorite because I don't know if it's enough touchdowns, but the fact that he's only thrown one pick is ridiculous.
Yeah. So I'm a little surprised that Rejects won the game. Not that surprised, but I'm surprised that they won by 25 freaking points.
Lambert Paquet, two huge picks. I believe he had picks on back-to-back plays, if not back-to-back possessions.
Well, it's hard to be
Uh,
back plays because if he got a pick, his team got the ball, and then he can't really pick off his own team.
no, like he got a pick six.
Oh, pick six. Okay.
Yeah, and then a pick the next play. I believe, but 3 picks thrown in this game, 2 pick sixes. Some ways that's all that's needed. But man, you talk about rejects, and like, yes, we knew they had the squad, we knew they were talented, but to beat the number one team in the league, right? Obviously, Averages were undefeated by 25. This, like, what are the power rankings right now? This is bananas, right? Fins up beat rejects, rejects beat Average Joe's beat Fins up, and you have nice TDs who get a win. The Div 2 is fun, man. Div 2 is fun.
I just wait for Kevin to post them.
His picks?
His power rankings.
Oh, yeah. I mean, bro, you can't ask all from Kevin, right?
Yeah, that's cool. Okay. He had
You can't
average
ask.
Joe spins up and then rejects, so it'll be fun to see how he's gonna mix this up, right? I guess reject gotta be number one, right?
I think he'll have average Joe spins up and nice TDs. He'll find a way to have rejects not in the top three.
And you're speaking about the quarterback race for moving on to Division One. It's a tight one, right? Well, obviously Dobbs has that 31-1 touchdown to interception ratio, but you still got Jason with 37 touchdowns in one fewer games, which is pretty nuts. About the same completion percentage, a little bit less yards. So yeah, those last games are really gonna determine it. And you know those last games approaching the playoffs are for seeding as well. So that's when like the games get hot. Um, how many interceptions do you think Dobbs finishes the season with?
Three.
I was gonna say two or three,
I'm gonna
but
say
I
three.
wonder. I wonder if now that he got one out, because like I know me, obviously you always want to try to have that zero interception season, which is like impossible. And then when you throw one on your first drive, like oh okay, I'm relieved now. So maybe now he'll throw a little more freely and maybe throw an extra pick here or there. I don't know. We'll see.
Very great. It's right there. The it gets like the pressure off, right? But that's crazy. Like, man, what a race! You can make the case that either Armonti or Dobbs is favored right now.
Yeah, it'd be interesting to see Armonti with that extra game, what his stats would look like, right?
Yeah.
If it's like a three interception game, I'd say it's clearly going to Dobbs. If it's like a seven touchdown, zero interception game, then it's hard to pass upon
Well,
someone who has like 13 more touchdowns than you, right?
yeah. Damn.
Nice city's average Joe's going to be a huge game there. And
Yeah. 10
rejects raw
touchdowns.
sauce as well.
Okay, who do you got? Nice C's, average Joe's. Average Joe's bounce back or nice CT's win there. Is it the second straight game for the? Yeah, I think it'd be the second straight win for nice CT's.
Uh, Something's telling me the Joes win that one.
Yeah, same. I say Joe's by one.
Speaking of one, let's go to Division One.
Let's go.
What happened, Willie?
Close game at half, 16-16. Big play in this game. We had the last play of the first half. Marvin had a really nice pass breakup. I know, we ended up losing by 19 or by 19. Yes, it doesn't seem that close at the end of the day. But the game was 16-16. Both we teams got two touchdowns, both their converts, and I think we're at around the 5 yard line, 4-5. I think it was Chris opening the back of the end zone. Marvin knocked it up, and at that point, Outlaws just came guns ablazing in the second half. We held them to fourth down. Steve hit Marvin on a deep ball. Yeah, our Steve took apart our defense in this one. We weren't aggressive enough. Steve had a really good game. I had a few throws that I wanted back. Max had a really nice one-handed interception. We talk a lot about obviously Marvin Svetsna. It was good to see Smuda back. Smuda making his season debut, I believe. Two touchdowns, one pick. He had a good game. Mason Miller being the unsung hero of this team, Terry. You talk about Outlaws and this, that, the other thing. His
You
name
know what he
doesn't
has?
pop up, right away when you think about this team. But he's honestly slowly become one of the guys that you need to plan for on an already very dangerous team.
And you know what Mason has, right? Little something that Willie Power has.
Baseball background.
And something else.
He's got really cool eyes.
It starts with the L.
Oh, he's got length.
He got length.
Right, he's got length. He's got length.
You know why I wore this shirt, Willie?
Is that the Arnold's one from last year? I didn't know I gave you one.
No, the Arnoldson's a nicer one. It's an OG one with the logo like this that actually writes the division. But I wore to motivate you a little bit. Um,
Thanks for telling me. Respect. And at this point, we need all the motivation we could get, man. We're sitting at 2-3, clinging on to that last playoff spot.
I was speaking with someone who told me they haven't watched any of your games, but by looking at like the reels and the standings and the stats you guys been putting up, you guys don't seem as hungry as you were last year. and the expectations are much higher, and you've not fulfilled those shoes yet. You guys are used to coming in as the underdogs, as the team that lost the Outlaws in the finals, as the team who didn't make the playoffs, as the team who made the playoffs and got killed, as the team who had a surprising win in the playoffs, not the team that was supposed to win that playoff game. And now that all the spotlight's on you guys, and everyone's Arnos are the D1 defending champs. If you go in the awards page and you click teams and you look at who won the fall 2024 championship, it's Iron Wolves, and it's their first one. It's as if you guys weren't ready to be champs
We kind
because
of we shut the
you're not playing like champs right now.
Look, I'll tell you one thing. It's not for lack of motivation, not for lack of hunger. We play every game to win, man. You know, we get 4 championships. We won 5. We won 6. I think. Remember, you told me once, like the hardest thing is not winning the chip, is defending your chip, right? And I think
Yeah,
that we're seeing that right now. Look, things are not as flowery and easy as we thought they would. The league has, become more competitive, and there's seen more studs. It has not been a good start to the season. No beating around the bush. But yeah, we're hoping that that turns around in the second half of the season. But I think we feel kind of surprised as well too. We didn't obviously we didn't think it'd be easy, but we're looking for a bounce back second half season.
maybe you should take some notes from what Brady and Idaho are doing because oh boy, sky's the limit. I didn't think I could be more impressed than seeing the stat line of 26 of 34, 261, 9 tutties, and 0 interceptions. That's pretty crazy. I don't know if Vinny got benched in this game. I heard rumors that he might have. Ashton taking over. Ashton still hasn't thrown an interception through one game and some change in this one. But obviously, Idaho were the favorite in this one, right? No one was expecting the unit to pull it off. Although they could have won the game. Idaho was bound to maybe not drop one at some point. Um, but this one was not close, man. Like 44 to 18 at halftime. That's bananas. Like I know that it's like the average number of points scored in Division One for Idaho and Brady, but like to take that big of a lead at halftime, it's really like crazy. Like yes, um, Brady's played with most of these guys before, but still have the unit. The unit have played all together before. Like I don't have a. Like, there's no beating around the bush. Like how what explains this?
This is historic. Like I don't even. Like, it's almost at a loss of words. Like that they're scoring 66 points against a team like this. Like I'll answer your question, but if we look at like point differential, 192 through 5 games. Is that like
They're
winning every game
averaging
by 38
54
points?
points a game. They're averaging 54 points a game. And not to say that their defense is weaker than their offense. Obviously, they're really well rounded. But in Division One, it's just natural to give up an average of 30 points against. Like I'd say if you give up fewer than 30 points against Division One, you have a good defense. Like if you're only giving up 4 touchdowns and a few converts, you have a good defense.
Right, and what's pretty crazy about this is sometimes we see teams put in the wrong division and they blow out teams left and right. Like, look, right now they're winning by over 38 points a game. This is Div 1, right? So there's no higher division. So it's not as if it's the team in Div 5 and Div 4 that's been placed in the wrong division. Right now they're just making it look easy. It's like men amongst boys. I was, curious to stay and watch this game. I couldn't because Steve picked me up. I really did not expect this. I think I was picked Idaho to win the game. I probably would have said, maybe by a touchdown or two. This is without Jerome playing in this game. This is without Joey. Like I don't know how we look at record books and stuff like that, Terry, but like this is historic. I don't think we've ever seen anything like this in
Yeah.
MFL through any division.
Not to say that the other guys are scums on the team, like you had like every other baller possible, but you mentioned Jerome and Joy, who are two of the top four receiving leaders. But you just look at the breakdown. This is the other thing that was blowing my mind. Okay, look, they're they averaging 54 points a game, like the most lethal offense of the whole league, right?
Yeah.
Brady has 36 touchdowns through 5 games, and no receiver has more than 8. No receiver hit the 300-yard mark. Let's look at the season stats across the board where teams think that they need to have these flashy receivers. There's one, two, three, four, five, six, seven, eight. 8 receivers with 300 yards and more. Idaho have 0. Isn't that crazy?
Freaking well said, man.
Like, and it just goes to show you said Jerome and Joey were not there. Like, no problem. We'll still put up 66 against one of the best defenses, or people still called Dylan the best defensive play caller in the league, right? It clearly did not show in this game. I think the only defensive play call that you could use against this Idaho team is to get Steve Harpasad on defense to sub for you and pick off Brady, because he's the only one that's done it in recent memory, twice in the same game. I don't think Brady
That's
ever
true.
got picked off by the same player 2 times, and Steve did it to him twice in the playoff game.
Bro, Fred, that's maybe a trade here. We got Steve being traded to the unit just to play defense. Hey, stranger things have happened, but uh, I think it's a really, really good point. You talk about how deep this team is. Look, football is the ultimate team sport. You got to have a good quarterback to have good receivers, blah blah. And we're seeing this right now.
Because
It's
what's crazy is also the 80 points against. Like you look across the board, 80 points against. It's like a joke. It's as if like they won a few games by forfeit and got a donut put
yeah,
on, you know?
it's crazy.
It's actually getting annoying how we talk about this every week. Like, could someone like score points on them?
So is this it's definitely a good problem to have. Does this put a lot? Obviously, puts a lot of pressure on Idaho, right? And, we not the same roster.
I don't think pressure's a worry for them, to be honest.
Yeah, no. You're right. You're right. But like now, everyone and their mother is talking about them, and rightfully so, right? It's like when when you get someone, you have a cool new math teacher, and like, yeah, what about her, Mrs. So and so? And you're like, yeah. And like right now, Idaho is kind of that new math teacher that everybody likes. It's like they don't crumble under the pressure. They won't feel the pressure. But is there any disadvantage to what Idaho has done? I know that may be a ridiculous question, but do you think that if any team can handle it, it would be them?
Disadvantage in what sense?
Like meaning Outlaws were always the perennial favorites in the division. Right now, you have to say it's like if I tell you Idaho or the field, who would you take to win the one championship?
Idaho.
Right, and like that you answered fairly quickly, and that's with Outlaws being there, Iron Wolves, the so-called defending champs being there. And you have other great teams in the division, and you had said Idaho without an ounce of hesitation. Is that too much pressure to put on a team like Idaho?
I like if I didn't know the guys in Idaho and I didn't like talk to them uh, like uh fairly often
Regularly.
and we're good friends or teammates with some of them actually, like I'd say probably. But I know
Yeah,
most of the guys, if not all of them on this team. I talk to them on a regular basis. Uh, I don't think so. If anything, it's more motivation for them than anything else. Like they're used to being at the top of the standings in any league or division they play in. They've
hmm
been there many times before. They've won championships. They won a Division Two championship when everyone was talking about nice TDs and
yeah.
Vinny being on that team, and Nacy's had a bunch of new players who right now would probably not bust a D1 cap if there was a D1 cap, right? And I think I remember exactly, but I'm pretty sure it was not that close of a D2 championship game, which happens often when ICs make the championship game in Division Two. It's rarely close, but yeah, like obviously, look. I think Outlaws are the best team positioned to give them a run for the money. My answer might change after this weekend. We always say anything can happen in the playoffs, right? Even if they finish atop the standings, they have to win 2 playoff games to win the championship. I'd put my money on them, but if they lose to Outlaws in the finals, or if because right now there's not really another team that showed me anything that could make me confident in picking them. I'd say it's them or Outlaws at this point in the season. That could obviously change, but right now it'd be them and Outlaws, and I'd say they're a decent favorite in that one right now.
Yeah, I think that's well said. It's hard to see like it's not sustainable, right? It's like
Well, I mean,
like it no like it just it like not possible, right?
I mean,
Like
is Brady gonna not be there for the playoffs? And maybe then
no, but I mean like this is like worse than Madden. It's like playing Madden on rookie mode and you have like the 1972 Dolphins.
it's as if they're playing like you said. They had a 38 point differential win average. Like on
Yeah,
average, they're winning their games by 38 points, as if they're playing like a Division Three team, four team.
yeah, it's incredible. Really excited to see that the Outlaws game this week in Idaho. We talked off air about it, right? And we said we'll save it for on air. Um, what's the point spread in that game? Idaho Outlaws, and who wins and who do you take?
So all kidding aside, let's like dissect Idaho's schedule a little bit better.
hmm
Um, out of their 5 wins, they've played 2 teams who were in Division One last year. Like the unit were like A team, and then Iron Wolves, right?
hmm
Raccoons, Villains, and Hansar are more like Division Two up and coming teams. But in those games, they've won by a combined 32 plus 36, 68 points, right?
Yeah.
Um, Outlaws, on the other hand, lost a game to the unit, that was very close,
hmm
and they haven't really had another close game besides that one. KLB was a 2 possession game. The 2 times they played you guys, it was not that close. They're averaging 41 points a game, winning their games by on average 17 points. It's still a 3 possession game. Like they're also blowing teams out of the water left
hmm
and right. I gotta say it's at least a touchdown. It's not like I'm not gonna disrespect Idaho and say this game's a convert battle. Like Idaho are favored by at least a touchdown in this one, a full 7 points.
Yeah, I had 6.5 in mind.
Okay, for Idaho though, right?
Yeah, yeah, Idaho.
Yeah,
Yeah, I'm gonna go 46-38 Idaho.
46 to. Okay, so 12 point game.
Uh, 8.
40, you said 48-36.
No, 46-38. So they cover. They just
Okay, okay,
cover.
46 to. You have an 8 point game, but you said the spread was 6.5. Oh yeah, Idaho cover.
Yeah, Idaho cover.
Oh
Idaho
yeah,
barely
okay,
cover.
yeah, okay. I call that this game is gonna be tied at halftime, and then Idaho will pull away in the second half. Let's quickly go over the Raccoons Ranceur game, battle of the
Damn,
teams
what a
starting with
game.
the R. What a game! Super important game for both teams. You see, they're both battling for that last playoff spot. Um, Good to see Fred Junot back for les Ranceurs, even though Nicolas Boucher is a great quarterback as well, getting 2 touchdowns though. Over 300 yards, 5 touchdowns, 1 pick. That's pretty good stats. Um, Guillaume getting 5 touchdowns himself because this was a stat error. We'll get it corrected. Alex Laroche, sure hands. Good ball distribution by both quarterbacks here. Um, which team do you think could squeeze into the playoffs?
That's a good one. Yeah, just to it's quickly, it was a really good game, back and forth game. I'd watch like 80% of that game. It was a really really fun one to watch. Honestly, I know it sounds crazy, but I think both of them can make the playoffs.
And who would be the 2 teams that would not then?
Idaho and Outlaws.
Yeah, it does sound crazy.
No, but like, okay, look, Ranceur right now 2-5. Okay, so if I had to pick one of them, I'd say Le Ranceur because, well, I mean, right now they have one extra win in the game. I think I believe it was the first time they played each other, right? Raccoons,
The Raccoons have
Ranceur.
2 games in hand. They could be 3-4.
That's true. Right now, Ranceur have the head-to-head, right?
And they're playing Arno, so they could definitely win the next one.
Oh yeah, it's very winnable. But I think that game is huge. I know like this now, and it's early in the season. It's not even halfway through, but that just taking into the fact that also have the head-to-head. Do they play each other again?
Yeah, yeah.
I mean that could very well last game of the season, but you can't make that stuff up. That could very well be for the last playoff spot.
And very quickly, Arno's Villains. How much would the standings have shifted if Villains would have won that? They would have been a 2-5 tied with Les Ranceurs for the last playoff spot. You guys would have been a 1-4 tied with Raccoons for last place in the division. I watched bits and pieces in this game, and honestly, from what I saw, I was sure the Villains were going to win this game. Like I didn't see the flow of the game. I wasn't sure what the score was, but just by the attitude and the plays that were being made, I was sure the Villains had this game. Like I don't know if you felt you guys were most in control for most of the game, or did you feel it was like shifting during the game?
No, I mean first half we were very first play of the game. Mimi 45 bomb. So they started off with a bang. We were
Who
down
was
by
covering
one at
him?
half. Sorry.
Who was covering him?
Maybe yours truly, I can't remember. But we were down by one at half, right? So this was like anyone's game. And yeah, no, there was at no point in this time, at no point in time in this game did we feel like we had this game in the bag. We stopped them on fourth, or we got a pick on fourth down in the red zone. Then we went turnover on downs, but there was a penalty, so we kept the drive going. We ended up milking the clock. But this was really it was is anyone's game. I think that in the second half we were winning most of the game, so I guess I get what you mean when you're saying we kind of had this game, but I feel like a lot of plays were left out there for both teams. Like we didn't see the best football from either team, but we still got a really close game.
Yeah, how was it, Lucas rushing you?
It was good, man. It was I know it was the one sack, but my interception he tipped where our boy I believe it
Mimi.
was Lemieux that
Oh,
got the pick.
Vincent.
Yeah, Lemieux got the pick, and it was fourth down too. So I had I think it was James wide open in the middle, threw to him. Lucas tips it, gets picked off. So I know it only says he got one sack, but he made his presence felt in this game. So yeah, that's
And
my boy right there.
before moving to bold prediction, I just want to say we spoke about Will Bradford earlier on an earlier episode earlier in the season, and he only threw one interception this game late in the game on a fourth down. So I got to say he's been doing a lot better at keeping the ball in his offense's hands, right? So that's a great improvement there. Almost being the defending champs coming down to it was a tie game late in the game, so like. I think even though, despite Villain's record, I think they could keep their heads up and still do some damage, right? Look, they're they're only one win out of a playoff spot if that can motivate them going forward. There's still 3 games left. Let's see who they play.
Yeah, and Bradford singing the
Raccoons,
rock last.
Outlaws, Raccoons. Sorry?
I was gonna say Bradford his last game had almost 15 yards of completion, but that's huge. Let's say they go 2-0 against Raccoons.
Yeah. So bold predictions?
Let's go.
What division? What
I'll
double
do Div
dip?
3.
Sorry?
I'll do Div 3.
We'll both do Div 3?
Sure, deal.
What do you got?
Okay, that FAT Orange Rollers game caught my eye.
Okay.
Let's see. FAT Orange Rollers. What's FAT's record?
You're asking for a lot.
Yeah, but I know you're good. Okay, 4-2. Orange Rollers 3-4. That's crazy. While Trench Baby's right now sitting outside looking in.
With a few games in hand.
Yeah, trust. Okay, my bold prediction. We saw pick one last week, right, to end a game in Division 2. We will see a pick one end this game. Leon targeting Sean Kennedy, being picked off none other than the commiss John Evans, and return that to the house. Game over. Iron Trollers win. John Evans somehow makes 4 or 5 guys miss, has to play defense because there are only 6 in this game, and gets a pick one, ends this game. Iron Trollers win again.
I like it.
Thanks.
Drama Club, 4-0, right? Haven't lost a game yet.
Yep.
55 points against through 4 games. Pretty impressive, right? You look at everyone else. I know they played fewer games, but still averaging 13 points against a game. They got 2 games this week. They're playing Him U, and they're
Yep.
playing Trench Babies.
Yep.
Him U are arguably the favorites, one of the better teams in the division, and Trench Babies, who you just surprisingly said are an outside looking in. Drama Club, who have not lost a game and sitting comfortably at 4-0, dropped both games this weekend to be at 4-2. And just like that, their beautiful undefeated record is looking, it gets cut in half. And they're sitting at 4-2. You know what they say, right? When it rains,
It pours, bruh.
and there's going to be a tornado tsunami for Drama Club this weekend. It's going to start off bad against Him U. Yeah. And then it's going to get worse against Trench Babies.
Yeah, it's not even. It's bold, but it's like I would. If it happens, I wouldn't even be all that shocked, just because, like you said, the 2 teams are playing.
I mean, Trench Babies have an unfortunate injury to Jean-Sébastien. I hope he gets better soon, but it looks like they're replacing him with their original quarterback. Their actual quarterback got hurt preseason, and then they got JS to come in, and then JS got hurt, and in the meantime, their actual quarterback healed up. So
Thoughts and prayers. Hopefully, they bounce back.
that's it for today, folks.
That's all. Thanks for tuning in. We're almost like the playoff push starts now, folks. So make sure you get those games in, and make sure you get those victories right now, because there may not be no tomorrow.
And check out the playoff dates we posted. See you Saturday.
See you, gang.